Hello everybody, I'm Elwirfy and today I wanted to make another video talking about kind of what you guys have been saying about Killing Floor. Before I do YouTube comments, I wanted to go over the actual Reddit itself, where most of the discussion is going on about this, and I wanted to see what people were saying about the game. So I figured I'd read the opening discussion, and then we'll go over some things that we've heard in the meantime from people replying to this thread. And you're welcome to take this information as you will, but I just wanted to show what people are talking about outside of the YouTube community space before we talk about what people are saying in the YouTube community space. And obviously, I want to give you guys a chance to leave comments as well. Definitely discuss down below how you're feeling. Obviously, as time goes on, we might get updates. Things might change. I do record in batches, so I apologize if some of this information ever becomes out of date. But for now, let's just go ahead and jump straight into it. So the main point of the whole post is that Killing Floor 3 is just plain awful. And this user says, the beta is a disaster, and the worst part, this is what the final game will be. What you see isn't a rough draft, it's what you get. It's the full product with a fresh coat of early access excuses. The gun system is an absolute joke, the performance is obviously abysmal, and can't get consistent frames. It goes from 20 to 80 FPS, and when I locked it to 60, it still stutters as all hell. The shaders took 10 minutes to compile, and that was fine. What's not fine is the performance. Guns feel awful to use, no kick to them, just laser guns. Enemies don't react to anything. It feels like the game is unresponsive when you shoot, no stagger, no impact. Makes the whole game feel lifeless. The netcode is atrocious, lag stutters, freezing. No way this is 1 month before release. Killing Floor 3 is unpolished, glitch-ridden, vomit-inducing wreck within minutes. I had a pounding headache from the relentless visual glitches and speed up bugs. The game doesn't just play bad, it truly feels bad to experience. Do not support this lazy, soulish cash grab. This isn't a worthy sequel. It's a corporate slaughter of everything that came before. I don't really disagree with much other than the fact that performance issues should be fixed by the time that we get to the game. My hope is that all glitches and performance things that I'm pointing out so that way they can be fixed are fixed by the time we get to the game. If they're not fixed, then we have a super big problem. But again, I only point out the technical stuff because I want this stuff to be fixed. So just to be clear about that, about how I feel about the state of the game. But let's go on to some replies. I think this top comment right here is actually, it deserves all the upvotes that I got. This anonymous user, Mr. Ash, said, what hurts the most is the soul is just gone. Looks entirely based in the US. The tongue-in-cheek Shaun of the Dead type humor is completely gone. The horror is gone. That's true. We're losing a lot of the personality. Looks like some of the wannabe cyberpunk Killing Floor mod made by COD devs. That's fair. It definitely does look like worse quality. All the buildings and stuff have less grittiness to it. It's not a gritty game anymore. Let's see. He says, all future sci-fi looking gore system looks worse. Huge step back in every category. Z time is a huge downgrade. I know Killing Floor 2 had some rough times in the beginning, but the game still had Killing Floor in its soul. This is not a Killing Floor game. The best thing they did was give me the opportunity to play early for free. Will not be buying this after all. Yeah, and I don't plan to buy it either, you guys, unless I see massive, massive improvements. I would want to see the removal of the specialist system. I would need to see that all glitches and performance concerns are gone. I would need to see a higher weapon variety, and I definitely would need things to just be better. For like team play as well. Again, no one's really on the internet's really talking about team play, and I'm not titling any of my videos about team play because I feel like that's not going to get the clicks, but I'm going to keep mentioning team play. The need for co-op is gone. You could play this whole game solo. It's very disappointing. We share the same sentiment, says someone replying. I don't like the two modern setting either. It's just another COD zombie. For FFS, for fuck's sake. Guns are too little. The UX is bad. Selling and buying is confusing as fuck. Gun animations are better, but everything is worse. This is dead on arrival, I'm afraid, just like Payday 3. Now, I don't know what happened with Payday 3. If there's some controversy with that, feel free to comment about that. But I've seen a lot of people comparing Killing Floor to Payday 3. Was Payday 3 made by the same people, perhaps? I'm not sure. Again, I don't play Payday. Well, I played Payday 2, but I didn't feel that interested in Payday 3, to be honest, so I didn't get it, and I never really looked into it. I think I was busy with other things. But let me know what you think about that. Other people replying to the subreddit, people are saying that the animations aren't bad, they're just plain broken. Enemies move like Doom 1 characters. That's true. You know, in Doom 1, when you would go after an enemy, the enemies would kind of mosey around, hanging out, not really doing much, kind of like what's happening in Killing Floor 3. It's really disappointing. He continues that the gore is shit. Your enemies just explode like a balloon. Yes, that's exactly what I pointed out in one of my previous videos. It felt like enemies weren't being flown back. When I shoot you with a shotgun, your body should, yes, explode like the chest, but all your limbs and your head should all go flying. There should be impact. We don't get impact if your model just disappears. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, it says you don't feel like you're tearing them limb from limb. Exactly what I just said. Guns feel like pea shooters. There's no power behind them. That's probably why I felt like the shotgun wasn't making much of an impact. I was having trouble expressing the words. The recoil effect of weapons is very low, if anything. They're too easy to control if you try and fire in multiple shots. And what was cool about the Killing Floor 1 and 2 is that you really had a lot of time to line up your shots and get good setups to hit multiple enemies at once with your blasts, I felt it was very easy to line up the kills the way you wanted to and not have to be kind of doing that Twitch shooting stuff. God, I hope they don't try and make this competitive. Please, if you're going to ruin the game, at least try not to make a competitive scene out of this, I hope. Oh God, that'd be really bad. Like, I don't need someone like Ninja playing this, right? Trying to show it off as if it's some try-hard game, because it's not. Anyway, and most importantly, you don't feel like this unlikely team of lunatics who are going against absolute carnage. Yeah, now you're just some elite pre-picked squad, and there's no, like, you can switch weapons and stuff at the store like before, but you're really kind of encouraged to stick with your class, and there's less motivation to be the guy who runs in with the sniper and the shotgun, you know? Especially since they got rid of the weight system. Oh my God, I know I barely talk about it, but yeah, they got rid of the weight system, so you're limited to 2 primaries and 1 secondary. So gone are the days of having 6 different weapons if you wanted, right? Because you wanted variety. God help someone who wants variety, I guess. Jesus. Yeah, most importantly, yeah, it's not fun, it's not scary, it's dull. It feels like like someone can join the game from the asset store while watching Udemy tutorial. I don't know what that is. And what the fuck is Z time? That's a fair point. Why is Z time so bad? It adds a stupid red glow to the enemies, and it takes away all the fun of the slow-mo massacre because you still see just a red silhouette. All you see is a red silhouette without any deals. Right, so it's actually harder to see the enemies when you're in Z time, which is not what it's supposed to do. Z time is supposed to give you a moment of pause to break up the action, a chance to assess your surroundings. If you're on mic with somebody, you can communicate what their situation is, see if you need to move to their part of the map to help. You can coordinate with your team to like really focus on that flesh pound to really take it down. But in this one, Z time's too short. It's hard to see what you're doing, and it feels like everyone's Z time is the same. There's no more differences like you had in Killing Floor 2. It's just very busted, I think, and it's disappointing. For a reply to that, I'm not going to read everything, but for a reply to this statement, this person who got a lot of upvotes on top of this replied saying that this has been my experience thus far in the beta. The guns are all Warhammer size, but Rainbow Six in caliber. Yes, exactly what I'm talking about. The bullets, when they come out of the gun, they look so small. And guess what? It's hard to follow bullet trails in this game. We always used to be able to watch the bullet trails as you went. We're not getting that now. We do not have the bullet trails anymore, which is just disappointing. Maps are the most egregious offenders, this person says, that they're all designed like Unreal Tournament Team Deathmatch maps, not living worlds that Killing Floor had. Yeah, there's really no feeling of like, because I saw one of the maps that is on the map is in Washington, but I didn't feel like I'm going to Washington. That's my state, because I'm in Seattle. It didn't feel like my city. Like, it didn't look like anything that you would see in my city, you know? It felt like just some industrial complex. It's some warehouse. Like, that's not cool, right? If you're going to go to the east side of Washington, that's like where the Cascades are. We should be fighting in the mountains. Give me like a Cascade Mountains map if you're going to go into Washington. You know, don't come to my state if you're not going to do the cool thing. Or heck, you could set a map in Seattle. We've never had a Seattle map before. You could go fight on top of the Space Needle. You know, the Space Needle, it has a restaurant on top and it like spins. You could have like a spinning part of the map. That'd be really cool. You could do cool stuff. But no, you're picking East Washington where there's like woods and shit and there's like nothing. Like, and they're even doing like Southeast Washington too. So you really are in kind of the middle of nowhere, just stuck next to Idaho. Just sorry, I'm on a tangent. It's dumb. My point is, it's dumb. The maps do not feel like where they're put on the global map when you look at them. And then this person said, I kind of want to play more, but I'm also kind of over each match mid-boss fight. I've been alt-tabbing out for 20 minutes at a time after each match to do something else. I want to like it, really. Like, it seems like he really wants to like it. Yeah. Is there anything good about it, even small things? Okay. Again, I'm not going to read every comment. He says some. I don't really know what people are on about the movement, though. I skipped Killing Floor 2 because of teleporting Zeds. I don't remember having teleporting Zeds. I know that the invisible... Oh my god! That's another thing. I think they took away the invisible lady who would, like... Why would they take that away? Why would you take away the... I forgot what she's called. The one who turns invisible, though. They took her out of the game, by the way. Absolutely terrible. How's nobody talking about this? They totally just removed an enemy. That was like... She didn't do much, to be fair. She was easy to kill, and she really wasn't a threat in the game, but it was just for variety's sake. Just put it back in. That's not hard. I don't know. Anyway, got tired of teleporting Zeds. I don't remember anyone who could teleport. I just feel like the invisible people, you might feel like they can teleport because they just suddenly appear in front of you. But that's part of the challenge of the game. And then he said he reinstalled and booted up Killing Floor 1 last night after playing Killing Floor 3, and Killing Floor 3 felt similarly slow. Killing Floor 1 was definitely slower. Yeah, Killing Floor 1 is a slow game, but Killing Floor 1 focused on atmosphere, and admittedly Killing Floor 2 lost some of its atmosphere when the change happened. I wasn't even fully on board with Killing Floor 2 initially, but man, after seeing Killing Floor 3, Killing Floor 2 added so much more personality, a lot more better gameplay mechanics overall, and Killing Floor 2 was overall an upgrade, even if it gave up some of that horror element, if that makes sense. Killing Floor 1 is still the best for a horror experience, in my opinion. Anyway, and he said, by just not using the zip lines and other stuff, it feels similar to Killing Floor 1. And he actually liked that. They could put a cool down on the slide and treat it as a short-term escape, leave dash as it is. So this guy likes the movement. That's fine. I personally don't like the movement adjustments, but the movement adjustments are also something that you kind of have to use based on videos I've seen because of the way the bosses are. Like you probably can't beat the bosses if you're not using the dash stuff. And because you have limited heals, you actually need to dash more because you can't just tank the damage. So you're that's funny. Because they added the movement system, they've made it harder to heal because you have limited stims. So that means that you're encouraged to move away from the enemies. So there's less of them getting in your face and it feeling like an intense fight where you're like pushing them away and like you shoot a guy over here, swap to the pistol. Like there's less like need to dynamically change your fire. It's more about back up, and let's kite you like we're playing COD Zombies. That doesn't make sense for me, like gameplay-wise. That doesn't feel like a good way to experience a zombie killing game. Why would I want to be away from the zombies? I want to be up close, in the face, chainsaw in hand, like ripping through them. I mean, like that's cool to me. That's how I like to play. And maybe I'm biased because I'm a shotgun guy. I like getting up in their face. But even when I play Commando or something, or I play SWAT in Killing Floor 2, I like when they're surrounding me and I have to like tactically avoid and like use some brains in this game, Don't be completely mindless. Anyway, this guy keeps going on. He says some weapons are cool and a bit more grounded in reality. Personally, I dig most of the sharpshooter kit. Looks like a heavy barrel. Precision kind of should. And the Firebug sidearm. Just the 2 weapons? Is that the only 2 you liked? That's not good. There's only so many weapons already, but that's pretty bad. If I would think you'd want all of them. Anyway, I think so far my preferred classes are Firebug and Sharpshooter. Okay, at least he's admitting to the bias, and if that's his favorite, that's fine. No judgment for that, of course. Though the Ninja could be cool if they had a tweak, if they can tweak monster attack animations so I can better parry and block. Blocking was never really like a thing that I saw. Admittedly, most of the time in Melee and Killing Floor, it's about making the attack. You didn't really block as much. Admittedly, I did play Berserker the least, so maybe there is a way to block that they've changed. But from what I remember, it was more effective to just attack and back away, like kiting them, The sound, I think, is nice overall, and the maps just need to be brought up to par to match it. That's fair. The sound design itself was fine. I just feel like the weapons don't feel as punchy. and the explosions of the Zeds don't feel as nice to listen to on my ears. But that might be a personal thing for me. If you guys like the audio, obviously that's fine. You're welcome to like the audio. Though I'd like more feedback on headshots, very fair. Also, even though it wasn't relevant to Killing Floor historically, I want the Halo confetti headshot mod. I wouldn't worry about any mods. We are so far away from talking about mods, and mods should never be used as an excuse for a company's lack of ability to develop a game. Unfortunately, as you can tell, this is all I can really think of after 5 hours of actual playtime, 7.8 hours on Steam record yesterday. I'm sold that if I buy the game, it could be something really cool, but it needs work, and more importantly, it needs Tripwire to take to heart community feedback. Yeah, that's the thing. Apparently, the devs aren't listening to community feedback at all, or they've already got a final release build and they don't want to mess with it because the higher up corporate is coming after them. Would be my guess. I don't know, and I'm gonna probably make another video later. Talking about corporate's response, if any. I've been having trouble gathering info on that, so that's why it's taking me a little bit of time to see why they aren't listening to feedback. But obviously, as the days go by, things could change. I do pre-record these as my schedule becomes available, so if things do change, please let me know. Again, this video might even be out of date by the time you watch it. We'll see. Because obviously, I would love this video to be wrong. I want this video to come out and everyone says this video is stupid and it's bad because all the problems that I'm talking about are fixed, right? Because then I can buy the game. I want to buy Killing Floor 3, but I can't justify doing it right now because of all these problems. Like, I'm just going to play Killing Floor 2. I don't know. Anyway, let's do a little bit more. I don't want this video to be too long, but we'll do a little more. He says, this guy Trick says, the irony is that we literally have pea shooters in Killing Floor 2, and they are still a lot more satisfying than in Killing Floor 3. Yes, exactly. And Full Metal completely agrees. He's like, shitty guns in Killing Floor 2 are still fun to use. Exactly. Here's the cool thing about Killing Floor 2 and Killing Floor 1's progression system. You progressed by getting different weapons, but even the bad weapons had that kick, that punch, that really, like, you give it to them, And because it's early waves, it's okay that you had a shitty gun, because you would just upgrade. But now, I mean, I recently just learned that with the attachment system, you can walk into a match with like a pre-built gun, so then you might be able to come into a match already OP, therefore nullifying the need to earn the dosh in the first place. So you're defeating the whole progression system within each match. To me, at least, I liked the fact that I had to earn my way up to the next gun and be careful with how I spend my money and decide am I going to save and just fill ammo, or am I going to take that risk of buying a gun and maybe not having a full mag or like a full backup pouch of ammo for the new gun I bought because I'm cutting corners on my cost. I know there wasn't much economic management in Killing Floor, but the little bit that was there was done really well and implemented nicely. And because you're not getting ammo pickups on the ground, you're not getting extra weapons to throw and to sell, I feel like you're missing out on some cool economic choices that you could make, and we're just not getting it. Yeah, and the guy says it's decent game design. He says he hasn't had a chance to play Killing Floor 3 yet. No beta key. Yeah, I didn't get a beta key either. Oh well. That's why I'm relying on other people's footage to make my own judgments. So I'm happy to admit fairly that since I haven't played it, maybe there's an aspect of the game I'm not understanding if there is a good quality about it. But based on what I've seen in the footage, it doesn't look good. So that's why I'm in the position where I'm not looking forward to Killing Floor 3, but I would love to support the Killing Floor community and add any amount of noise to help get devs to change the game for the better. Yeah, but from what I've seen across the board, it's not worth getting. Yeah. Let's see some other stuff. Here's a whole new section. This game has some things done right, but it also has more things wrong, starting with not being a Killing Floor game. Perfect. And then someone else replied, "What has it done right? Have not played the beta, and based off this post, I likely will not." Yeah. So the skill trees themselves are top-notch design, strongest part of the game. The weapon configure system would be 2 if the guns were modeled on real-life weapons, not a sci-fi military alien. Yeah, that's weird, right? Because in Killing Floor 2, we had some science fiction weapons, especially those meta-guns. Those meta-guns were very scientific, which was fine. But you still had plenty of grounded real-world weapons, so it felt like the world as a whole made sense. but now you're in a world where everything is shiny and chrome, and it feels like I'm in a Tron game, and it feels like I'm playing like Advanced Warfare or something. That's not really like you've taken away the horror elements, and something people don't really think about is that the horror elements of a game is partly from using dog shit weapons to fight horrifying monsters. So if I walk in with a loadout and I'm all kitted, ready to go, I'm not scared. Like, I got my best gun. I don't even need to buy anything else. Like, I don't know, guys. It's just really concerning. Yeah, most of the guns look bad. A bunch of rectangles glued together. Yeah, the guns do look bad. Here, again, we're moving on. You can feel free to read this. You can open to go to the Reddit thread, obviously, if you want to read updates. This person said, I had other issues. Why is the healing syringe for self-use only? What? You can't heal teammates? Oh my God. Wait. Whoa. I didn't even catch that. No one's talking about it because everyone's gameplay is like single player. But can you no longer heal your allies anymore? Why are they going against team play? What is going on? What have we done that's so bad that now we're going after team play? Why? Why can't you weld doors anymore? I already talked about the healing limited 3. That's already stupid. But why do you have doors if you can't weld them? Why? I said this in another video. Just remove the doors. Don't even put them in the game. If you're not going to weld them, if you're not going to like try and cut off Zed's movement, you don't need doors. And since again, because we're not sitting still in this game, you don't need the doors to just restrict movement. You're not clumping up in a squad and defending. You're not in the biotics lab in either game where there's doors and you're locking down specific areas to set up defensive choke points. You're just not doing it. That's not what Killing Floor 3 is, unfortunately. Teamwork is just bad. Why are there medic guns with no healing darts? To be fair, the medic guns are a little bit OP in Killing Floor 2, so I understand taking away that. But then again, why have a medic class if you don't have any medic powers? Like, I think it'd be cool if they don't want to have the darts. You put up a healing station maybe you could go to. Kind of like something like from Star Wars Battlefront where you like stand around it and like you can get heals. Like, that'd be okay. But don't have medic class as a class if they aren't providing healing to others. That seems bad. Why can't you change characters within the same class anymore? That's interesting. Wait. Let me just double check. Anyone say any? I'm just checking to see if anyone said anything about the guns. About the class changing. Why are the gun parts so boring? Well, it is just attachments. I'm not expecting much for the attachments. You're gonna get like a scope, a barrel, a mag extension. Very basic stuff. You know, Call of Duty stuff. Why does the volumetric lighting block your view so much? Again, I didn't play the game, so I can't comment on the lighting. Why do the ammo and health bags fucking zoop all over the place after they've been placed down? You know why it's dumbed down? Here's the truth. The reason why this game is dumbed down is because they want to expand their audience. But just like we saw just like we saw Disney fuck up the Star Wars license, we now have Tripwire, who got bought out, by the way. So this isn't the same Tripwire who made Killing Floor 1 and 2, just so you know. This is a different entity that owns Tripwire. So there's probably some higher-ups who are fucking the game over. So I don't actually necessarily blame the devs themselves, because I think the devs who are making the game the way that the executives told them to have done a good job for what they've been instructed to do. Like, the graphics themselves look fine. Like, they're acceptable. The problem is that they don't fit the theme. But it's not like the game is ugly to look at, just to be clear. The guns themselves are futuristic, and they're boring, but you can't deny that the graphics on them look good. Like, I can tell what's what. That's fine. But the problem is they don't feel real. The game doesn't feel grounded at all. I think a lack of grounding is huge. But anyway, my point was, just like how Disney ruined Star Wars by trying to appeal to the general audience, Killing Floor 3 is also trying to appeal to the general audience. The people who are currently in charge at Tripwire and who are making the game don't understand that you need to cater to your core audience in order to get people to buy it. And then if you keep the same formula and make changes to add, don't take away, we add, then it's fine. Then people will be happy, and you won't have any problems. Unless the devs are just so sorry, not the devs. Unless the higher ups are so incompetent that they can't think of a new idea. That'd be a bit disappointing. Um, yeah. So we pretty much know the answers to most of these. What's this? You can use a trade tool known as explosive door lock, which is basically the same thing. It will explode once the loot XP, but you can't. But you can open the doors, which is cool. However, once the doors blow, they're gone forever. Yeah, but that was basically in Killing Floor 2 anyway. Right, yeah. So Killing Floor 2, the welding, I'll admit, is not as important. But if you have a coordinated team, you can get some stuff done with the welding. It is a cool feature. But welding did have the most impact in Killing Floor 1, I will say. The doors were better in Killing Floor 1, just overall. As someone who's been playing Killing Floor since 2009, hey, for the record, that's when my channel started. Very cool. I have nothing good to say about this game. Performance is atrocious. Also playing on a damn 4090. Wow, I only have a 3060, or I think a 38. No, 3060. So I'm not even interested in getting a game that's not going to perform well. Let's see. They're talking about PC stuff. That's fine. The game made me want to go play Killing Floor 2. That's a very common sentiment. I'm actually so sad right now at the approach they took to the series. Considering reinstalling both games. Let's see. I haven't played Killing Floor 2 for like 3 years now, and I was excited for Killing Floor 3 to have something new and fresh. But after playing the Killing Floor 3 beta, all the excitement evaporated almost immediately, and it's not tiny things that would be the issue. It's how the core of the game is now designed that's not related to pre-release status at all, because there's just no way they can fix or in any way improve this in 1 month's time. I did hear rumors that the beta we got was a couple months old, so I'm hopeful that we can get it fixed. All these videos that I make about Killing Floor are with the sole intention of spreading the message of getting the devs to fix the game. We want the game to be good. We want to have people come to your game. If you make a good game, people will spend money on your game. Do you know that? Like, I wouldn't even be mad about buying cosmetics for a game that I love the gameplay of so much that I felt like I want to support the devs and put that money back towards the company. But I have no reason to pay for cosmetics in a game that I don't like the core gameplay loop of. Just saying. He says, it's just impossible, and this won't get improved or fixed in months and years, even if they try. I bet if they had a year, they could fix it. I think they could. Especially with how much less content we're getting in right now than we're getting from when Killing Floor 2 started. Like, we're just getting less content, so they should be able to fix it if they waited a year. I'm thinking of just returning back to Killing Floor 2 now because I crave the wave-based killing of Zeds, but not like Killing Floor 3 does it, like, at all. Yeah, I might go back and play some Killing Floor 2 because I'm feeling a bit nostalgic now. I already made that gameplay video of Killing Floor 1 for you guys, but it's certainly nothing compared to Killing Floor 2. And I personally like the feel of Killing Floor 2 more because there's more variety. But if you want a creepy game, and I had to turn my mic off because I didn't want you to hear me like breathing heavily and stuff. But like Killing Floor 1 is kind of scary to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm nostalgic a bit, but you get that sense of loneliness, and Killing Floor 1 just feels atmospheric. It's very cool. Anyway, this guy goes on to say, at the same time, I'm sad about all of my favorite games becoming this pile of shit as the next installment. And also, I don't understand what the thought process at Tripwire Interactive to go this route. Like, why the fuck would you totally fuck up awesome Killing Floor 2 system and turn it into whatever the fuck it is? Again, I don't think it's the same Tripwire Interactive because it did get bought out by some other company. So I feel like this is executives making these stupid decisions, not the original devs. So I'm not blaming the devs because I think like the way the game is designed, besides glitches and optimization issues, is actually well done. Like what the devs programmed. I just think that what they were told to program is shit. Why not upgrade the engine of the game, give Zeds more attacks, make crawlers crawl on the walls? They do crawl on the walls now. I don't know when this post was 14 days ago. So they fixed that. Add weapon attachments and expand skills even further. We did get that. So again, these posts might be a little out of date. It'd be so cool. Instead, we got this did clumsy train wreck that looks and feels wrong at so many levels. It's painful. I couldn't stop playing Killing Floor 2 in early access when it dropped. I was hooked for days just playing Killing Floor 2 nonstop for entire days, day after day. Here, I need to force myself to give it a chance, and I still end up playing Overwatch 2 instead. And Overwatch 2 added loot boxes recently at the time of this recording, so that's another big can of worms. But that's disappointing when If your game that doesn't have any microtransactions in it is worse than a loot box system, oh, you're in trouble. Oh, oh my God, that's terrible. Yeah, and I started playing Killing Floor 2 again in preparation for 3, and after reading this thread and some other reviews, I think I might just stick with 2. Yeah, everyone's kind of saying the same stuff. I don't want this video, sorry, this video went way too long. Please fix the game, Tripwire. I'd like to get the game. I would like to feel comfortable buying the game. In fact, depending on your guys' reply to this video and my other videos, I might just suck it up and buy the game just so I can give my first-hand opinions and then like play less than 2 hours and then return it on Steam. I don't really want to spend my money on Killing Floor 3 right now because it's so bad, and I just don't want to commit to a purchase like that. Plus, because it might take me more than 2 hours to film the footage and then I don't get my Steam refund. So I'm really gonna think about it, but let me know if do you guys want, like, if you could reply in the comments, do you guys want me to buy Killing Floor 3 when it comes out? Would that be something you're interested in? I'm personally not that excited to get it. I don't really want to support the devs in this either, but I'd be willing to make that sacrifice for you guys so you guys don't have to spend your hard-earned money because times are tough right now, and I don't want, like, especially because I'm all about promoting small YouTubers and promoting small channels and promoting like the gaming community and people who maybe don't have a voice. I really think it's important that you guys are made aware of all the problems in a game before you buy it. So definitely, if you've learned nothing from this video, go play Killing Floor 2. Killing Floor 2. It's going to be a great experience. It's a lot of fun. But thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Again, please comment below. I love seeing your guys' comments, and I will reply to them. I reply to every single comment as long as YouTube notifies me about it. So take care, everyone.